Okay, so this is going to be a kind of off the cuff video, so sorry for the English if it fails me sometimes. So, Trump made an executive order on refugees, banning refugees from I think it was seven different Middle Eastern countries, and of course, the left wing is freaking the fuck out. They're saying this is unconstitutional, this is discrimination, this is all these awful things. But of course, you already have a good amount of videos showing that actually these countries were chosen by Obama, why they are being temporarily banned, and but I don't want to focus on just the part that is trying to appease the hysterical left wingers, but I want to actually explain why this ban makes sense, why it may be needed for a longer time, and why I wish Europe had a similar ban. You all know that, yeah, Europe is receiving refugees, and we all singing Kumbaya, and everything is very happy, right? Or let's see some statistics to see. Well, we have Sweden, 77% of rapes committed by 2% Muslim male population. And by the way, these figures are still is from 2015. Things got much worse since then. So, still want them here? Aren't you against rape culture? Huh? Because this is the rape culture. Sweden was almost like a paradise in Europe, like Sweden and Norway, before the Muslims came in. Do you still want them? No? Oh, you still want them because rape is only bad when white people do it. So, Austria notes Muslim migrant crime doubles in 1 year from 2007. Oh, who would have guessed? You bring in refugees with almost nothing, they really don't like your culture, they really don't like you, and they become criminals. Who would have guessed? No one would have guessed. Nobody. It's nobody even said these things would happen before they started pouring in. No, nothing. Muslim asylum seekers scam German aid program for millions by applying with up to 12 fake ideas. Why not? They're poor victims, but they can scam you with 12 fake ideas, but they're poor victims. Germany, 75% of Algerian migrants have been sex assault suspects. Coincidence, German stats show a surge in sex crime rates around refugee centers. 50% of British Muslims surveyed refused to report terrorism. 44% want forced dress code for women. I thought feminists were all about the women's rights, right? But you want to bring those people into the USA? You think Trump is wrong? Seriously? The world's most violent and worst cities are dominated by Islam. I'm going to leave the links in the description so you can see all the articles because I'm not opening them one by one because I would be here all night and I only have 15 minutes of video to do. Italian report that directed correlation between immigrants and the rising crime rate. Why would this be happening? They're just innocent refugees. Only 18 out of 57 Muslim nations signed UN coalition to fight ISIS. West Muslims make up only 1% of the population but file 40% of workplace discrimination complaints. I can imagine why they would do that because they're not being classified as like a victim group or anything like that. Germany, billion Muslim migrant bill in only 18 months. Yeah, so a lot of money spent. Paul, 68% of Saudis preferred jihad ally Hillary Clinton. Of course they do. She was on payroll. Sweden's Muslim problem. Half a million women sex attacked in a year. For fuck's sake. The USA, that has a much, much larger population, in 2014 only had 284,350 cases of rape and sexual assault. For fuck's sake, that's almost half of the rape that it was done in a country much, much smaller in terms of population than the friggin' USA. And the funny part is that 70% of all that rape is done by a group that is 2% of the population. How in the hell can you even, with a straight face, tell people that it's the USA that it's a rape culture? For fuck's sake. Sweden's Muslim rape problem. Sex crime against women doubled in 3 years. Germany Muslim migration commits 142,500 crimes in first 6 months of 2016. 780 every day. this and it just doesn't end. The list just doesn't end. Sweden, 1 in 10 Muslim school students in Gothenburg sympathize with jihadists. Let's say something here. Not all, because not all is an important word, but that has been wrongly used. Because people always say, "Oh, you're reading all those things," but not all Muslims are like that, and that's true. But how can you tell them apart? You're letting everybody in with almost no control, and you don't know which person is which. Because you're letting in millions of them, thousands of them, and it's not stopping. You have no control. You're completely lost control. You can. This is one of the only times that analogy with the you have um, uh, a bowl of M&Ms. 25% are poison. Take a handful. That's exactly what this is, because you're taking an handful and you're getting good Muslims that are just fleeing a war, a terrible war that Obama did. Thank you, Obama, for creating a refugee crisis and now a epidemic of problems in Europe. But let's completely forget that it's his fault. So Trump is actually just cleaning up the mess that Obama did. And I don't know what to say. Really, this is completely ridiculous. You cannot sacrifice your own people, the people that you should care about, the people that are your countrymen, to risk their lives and sacrifice all these women and the lives of a lot of, because this is just concentrating in rape, but the quantity of people that already died is ridiculous. And to save a couple of people that you have no, it's not your fault that they are in the situation that they are. Your attempt to be a fake moral person is sacrificing people. You all have blood in your hands. Report that only 30% of Muslims reject secular laws. Oh my god, who would have guessed? And it keeps going, it keeps becoming worse and worse. Sweden, migrants are responsible for 95% of all crime, overrepresented by more than 430%. It's not racist to accept that an ideology, because Islam is not a race, an ideology just makes it's a dangerous ideology, and this culture is worse than our culture. This culture is bad. You have a lot of good people that are trying to live their lives, but you have the ideology itself creates this cancer of evil people in the mix of the good people that just want to ruin the West. And I know Muslims personally that are great people. They're very nice, very pleasant. I never had any problems with them. They, on the contrary, they're really nice people. They have their weird customs. They are not adapting themselves to the West, but at least they didn't cause any problems. Yeah, they are really nice people. But you know, did I find those people? In universities. And they are not refugees. They are people that came here to scholarships, to study, and they are people that are trying to better themselves. And because they're in the learning environment where they actually have a lot of contact with people from other um, cultures, they at least do a more educated effort to adapt. Something that I'm sorry to say, but the others don't. The refugees are not trying to adapt. They are not trying to become part of the West. They're just trying to. They feel entitled almost to suck the West dry and to do whatever they want. This this is the reality. You cannot because I hear a lot of people, oh, I know Muslims and they're really nice. Yes, you know Muslims that actually came here wanting to adapt, wanting to learn, wanting to better themselves, wanting to actually be a part of the West, even though they still try to keep their culture, but they are not isolated in their cultures. They don't see Islam like Islam is law. And this is all comes from who created Islam. Because no matter how you want to look at it, if you compare Muhammad with Hitler, you won't see that much of a difference. You know, you actually see that Muhammad was a much worse person than Hitler. Muhammad just didn't manage to kill as many people as Hitler because he didn't have the technological weapons to do it. Because he beheaded people, he conquered people by the sword, he would kill anybody who opposed him, he would take their wives as sex slaves, he raped a 8-year-old girl. What the hell do you expect from a culture that considers this person um, a prophet? It's uh, it's crazy. I don't understand. I don't understand what these left-wing nutcases are thinking in the world. They're risking their families. They're risking their lives for an ideology because it's their ideology of political multiculturalism, political correctness, all this bullshit, and their hatred of Trump is making them completely blind to the simple reality and suffering of people. With this uncontrolled immigration, you need to find ways to screen people, to understand and differentiate the people that are coming here and that completely believe that awful book, like completely blindly, and the people that like Christians do, because the Bible is as awful as the Quran. But Christians after World War II adapted to secular values. So they basically throw out most of the shit the Bible teaches. They don't care. They just believe, oh, Jesus was this really nice hipster guy and everything is cool. But Muslims don't do that. So in the end, I think left has completely lost their mind, and the reality is that these are false moralists. They don't care what happens to the people that live in their own countries, and they're just sacrificing people like animals to the slaughter. For them to keep this delusion of multiculturalism, they're sacrificing their own citizens, and they don't care. They don't care about all the girls being raped, especially very young girls being raped. They don't care about the crime. They don't care about. They only always blame the white people. That's not racist at all, and they never look at the real problem. That is not color. It's not race. It's ideology. And they don't. They can't accept that some ideologies are dangerous. That's it for today, guys. I'm really. I really had enough of this bullshit. So, if the world is still standing until then, see you in the next video. Give a like, subscribe.